night of the full moon has ended with the morning, and for Paul Stoddard, his hopes for escape have ended too. Elizabeth has brought him back from the police station, secure that no one believed a word of his accusations. Now, with Paul incapable of struggle, the members of Barnabas's cult must deal with still another member of the household who is dangerous to them.
How is he?
He's almost asleep. Don't worry. Mrs. Johnson won't leave him until he's completely asleep. There'll be no more danger from him.
Barnabas says you did well. He also said that you're to leave him here and not move him until Barnabas tells you to.
I'll do whatever he says, of course.
Barnabas also asked me to remind you that Julia Hoffman is your responsibility. What are you going to do about her?
Kill her.
Nothing in the papers. Nothing about sudden, horrible death or anyone seeing any mysterious animal. Whatever Quentin did last night, nobody knows about it yet. But somebody has to know something. Miss Corey's room, please. Good morning. It's Dr. Hoffman. Miss Corey, do you know if Grant Douglas came in at all last night? Well, perhaps he's in his room right now. Yes, please call me back. Thank you. Perhaps he is in his room. He's got to be. Hello? Yes? Oh, Miss Corey. He hasn't come back yet? Yes, I would appreciate knowing when he does. Thank you. He hasn't come back because he couldn't come back. Because the full moon turned him into an animal with no mind, no memory, nothing but the need to kill. I knew that when I saw his room in a shambles. But if it did, then Charles Tate's portrait of him didn't have the power I thought. How will I help Chris at all? How will I...
Julia, something the matter? You seem so deep in thought.
Yes, something is the matter.
What?
Nothing I need bother you about.
Have you stopped confiding in me because you found me so unsympathetic about Michael?
No, you weren't unsympathetic about Michael.
What then?
Well, just... I thought you were a little short-sighted.
Did you know that Paul forced Professor Stokes to take him to the police last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, Stokes phoned me, of course.
Wish he'd let me try to help him.
Oh, so do I, but he absolutely refuses. He's terrified of you.
He's terrified of so many things. I have a feeling that the reason for his terror lies in that antique shop. I don't know what it is yet, but I will find out. And perhaps I can help. Elizabeth, are you all right? Where are you going?
I just remembered something. I kept remembering things she'd said, things she'd done for us, all of us. I just couldn't go through with it.
I see.
Do you? Then tell me what to do.
No, Elizabeth. The book is there. It can give you strength to put the past out of your mind and to think only of the time that is coming. The book is there to guide us.
Chris, what are you doing here?
I got tired of my cage at Wincliffe, Doctor.
But you've got to get back before the...
Sorry, Doctor, I have different plans for the night.
What are you talking about?
You and I are going to pay a visit to Mr. Charles Delaware Tate. I can no longer be both a man and an animal.
Chris, if I hadn't given you hope, and somewhere there is hope for you... Oh, Chris... Charles Delaware Tate is not the answer. That man is not capable of helping anyone. Forget him. Now go back to Wincliffe, and sooner or later I will have the answer for you and Quentin.
Quentin and me. If he is Quentin.
Well, he is. That is one thing I've learned.
What do you mean?
Mr. Grant Douglas disappeared last night. No one knows where he is or what he's done.
So, now Grant Douglas, least of all. The spirit of Jenny Collins said to me, find Quentin Collins and you'll be all right. Well, maybe I should just forget about that too.
Oh, I'm not so sure of that, Chris. For a while, in some way, he did overcome the werewolf curse. Perhaps when he regains his memory, he'll know something that can help.
You don't believe that, Julia. You say maybe he's overcome the curse. In fact, you're terrified that he hasn't overcome anything at all.
Yes,
Not now, anyway.
You're right, Chris. I am terrified. If only I knew where he was.
Olivia. Olivia.
For the people of Leviathan, all others are enemies. But the enemies of Leviathan must not die by the hand of Leviathan. Only their own kind and themselves can end their existence on the earth that they have stolen from the people of Leviathan. In that way, their spirits shall not return to war against us.
What does that mean?
That means that you're a true Leviathan. Something inside of you kept you from killing Julia. Something kept you from disobeying the book.
No. That's not true. I wasn't thinking of the book or Leviathan. I was thinking of her, of our friendship.
No, it wasn't that at all. It was Leviathan. You knew somehow that if you killed her, her spirit would come back to war against us. You knew because you are one of us. We do not kill because the spirit of a dead enemy is more dangerous than the enemy himself. It's all in the book, Aunt Elizabeth. Everything we must know, everything we must do is in this book.
It's you.
Brilliant, Dr. Hoffman.
But you weren't in your room all last night.
Equally brilliant, Dr. Hoffman.
Well, where were you?
What are you, my doctor or my keeper? Do I have to check in with you every night? Stop staring at me! I'm not an animal in a cage!
No, you're not an animal in a cage. And whatever happened, it wasn't your fault.
It was my fault.
What?
I didn't have to hit the guy.
What did you hit?
Last night, I got in a fight at the High Hat Lounge. The guy kept staring at the girl I was with.
You were at the High Hat Lounge in Portland last night?
Unless they moved it.
What were you doing there?
I went there to find out what I could about Grant Douglas.
What did you find out?
Not much. He seems to be a pretty solitary fellow, that boy. But I did find out a few things about Frederick Thorne.
Frederick Thorne?
That's right. I kept asking questions, and a guy recognized the locker key I had, so he sent me to the right storage house. And I found what I put in the locker. No, I'll save you all the trouble and time. I read all of it very carefully. A few letters in there, frantic letters from a girl who asked Thorne why he abandoned her so quickly. There's a driver's license, which clearly means that he didn't intend to drive anymore. Listen, I said I'd save you the time. I was born in 1942. Oh, yes. Yes, there was a photograph. It was cut out of a newspaper. A photograph of Olivia Corey. Now, why, Doctor? Why?
I don't know. Are you sure you went to the High Hat Lounge last night?
Am I sure? Now, what in God's name, where do you think I was? Now, what do you think I was doing? Well, what do you suspect I was doing? Or should I say Clinton Collins? Now, what kind of a man is this Collins to make you run in here as if there were no tomorrow? Well, come on! Come on, Doctor, stand up and tell me! Well, what's the matter? The fact that I get in a fight last night, did that change the image of me for you, huh? Well, is that it?
Nothing has changed my image of you. Excuse me. see. Thank you very much.
Well,
Grant Douglas was at the High Hat Lounge last night, and he did get into a fight at around midnight.
so, whoever he is, he's not a werewolf, not now.
You know, it's strange. They seem to accept him so naturally as Grant Douglas.
But Julia, if he isn't,
The portrait worked, so it still exists.
Come in.
I'm Chris Jennings. Dr. Hoffman introduced us at the hospital. I need your help.
You need my help.
I'm desperate. I don't have time to explain. Tell me, will you help me?
Have you sure you haven't been dipping into the whiskey supply? You wouldn't be the only one.
I'm cold sober and perfectly serious. I want you to go with me to meet Charles Delaware Tate.
See who?
Charles Delaware Tate. He's a painter. He's old, a recluse. He won't see me if I go by myself.
Well, now, what difference would my being there make? I don't even know who he is.
He knows Quentin Collins.
Quentin Collins. Mr. Jennings. Do you know that I have had enough of Quentin Collins to last me for 10 lifetimes? And I don't need to hear any more about him from some decrepit old hermit.
Not even if it helps you to find out who you are. Or don't you care?
Oh, you listen to me. I care. I want to know who I am more than I want anything in this world. But I'm telling you, I'm not Quentin Collins. All right. Now look, I'll go with you. And if it'll help you to get in, I'll say I'm Quentin Collins. But that's it.
Okay. Because when we got there, I want to do the talking.
I failed him. He told me to deal with Julia, and I haven't.
You will. Oh, yes, you will when the time is right.
I wish I knew when that was.
You will. In the meantime, I've got to go and talk to Barnabas and make sure he's not angry with you.
Go away. I said go away. I want to see no one.
You'll see me, Mr. Tate,
Why should I?
because I am Quentin Collins.
Stand where you are, both of you. Don't come any closer. That's right, no further. Now, let me take a good look at you. Liar! Liar!
What?
You are not Quentin Collins. You are a young man.
Yeah, so are you. I thought you told me he was old.
Yes, old in years. Old in years, but there are ways of remaining young if one has true genius and one is a true artist. Isn't that right, Quentin? You see, I call you Quentin. I call you Quentin because you are merely another example of the genius of Charles Delaware Tate. My genius.
You know him? You think I'm Quentin?
How could I ever forget you?
What do you mean?
You took Amanda Harris from me.
Who's Amanda Harris? What's the matter? Why are you laughing?
Is true love.
Stop that
laughing! Remember her!
Stop it!
I always knew she was a fool. A fool!
Stop it! Wait a minute!